Hey everyone, it's Heidi from Hush Hush Magazine, and I'm here today to kind of give a life update and also new hair. Talk about my new hairstyle, Sisterlocks, and how I ended up just randomly getting Sisterlocks. So let's go into it. So I'll start out with the hair update because it's just so obvious and hard to ignore. As you guys know, I've posted videos before about 4D hair and how it's kind of what people usually term as the undesirable hair, especially in the black hair community, because it's just so dry, so thick, so dense, so hard to manage, so hard to comb through. And most of the products that are out there for natural hair, they don't really work on 4D hair. A lot of time they don't really do anything, especially if you have low porosity hair like mine that doesn't want to absorb anything. Everything just sits there and then kind of glides off. And so pretty much since I've started being natural, which was like 10 years ago, it's been such a huge struggle to try and figure out, what do I do with my hair? What do I do with my hair? And it's a constant source of anxiety and stress. And my mom is old school. She doesn't really understand the whole concept of being natural. So always a topic of discussion, like, what are you doing with your hair? Why are you doing this hairstyle? I don't like it. I do like it. Always a back and forth. So especially with the pandemic right now, where every day everything feels like a huge struggle, and the main thing that's top of mind is just like, how do I stay alive? How do I keep paying my bills? The last thing I want to worry about is my hair. Like, I was up to here. I was ready to cut off my hair, guys. I was ready to just shave it off and be done, which I've done before. I've done 2 times before, actually. So before I did that, because my mom threatened me that if I cut off my hair, she would flip. So I was like, okay, before I do that, let me actually do research one more time to see what some other options are. I need something that's low maintenance, but it looks good. And something that I don't just have to keep like doing stuff to it, or like deep conditioning for 2 hours, or like braiding it in and out all the time and doing all this stuff. And so I've had locks in the past, and I know that locks are, really good for thick 4D hair, because during the locking process, it's like you want your hair to basically lock up to a state where like it doesn't unravel and come out. And 4D hair is literally pro at that. Like, that is all 4D hair does naturally. So 4D hair is, I already knew it was great for locks, but when I did my locks before, they were pretty large size. And I thought that I would like how it looked, because I met this other lady that had some thick locks and it looked amazing on her, but I ended up not liking how it looked on me. So I took it out and then I tried again, and I did medium-sized locks. Still didn't really like how it looked. People told me, oh, you have to trust the process, you have to wait. But if you guys know me, you'll know I don't have that much patience. I think after 3 months, I was like, 3 months is plenty of patience. And if I can't get what I'm looking for, like, I'm moving on. And so, yeah, I did medium-sized locks. I took it out too. And so this time around, when I was doing my research, I was like, okay, what else can I do? And I started to see microlocks and sisterlocks coming up, looking at the hairstyles. And I had a friend that had microlocks and had a lot of them. And I didn't quite like how it looked on her. So that's why I was always kind of hesitant to actually do it. But then I started to realize, there are different sizes. Like, there's a pretty big range of sizes you can go through, and it does look a little bit different on everyone. And also the way that Sisterlocks specifically are done, they're done with a certain pattern, so it does come out looking a little bit different from standard microlocks. So I just started to open up this whole new world of things you could do with locks that are like small, basically, and how that could potentially look. And after looking through a bunch of YouTube videos, joining Facebook groups about it, trying to kind of detect like, who are some of these other people that seem to have hair similar to mine and what did theirs come out looking like, after doing all that, I was like, okay, you know what? I think I'm ready to take the plunge. And I did it. So I've had these Sisterlocks now for about 2 weeks. So they're pretty fresh. And as you guys can see, they're small, but not super tiny. And I did that on purpose because every 4 to 6 weeks, you go back to get the new growth retightened. And like I said, I'm not super patient. So they told me I could do it tinier, but if I do it tinier, it means I could end up with like 1,000 locks, which could easily take like 4 to 6 hours to retighten. And you have to do that every like 2 months. And I was like, no, no. So I opted for, some of these are large and then some are medium Sisterlocks. And so with that, the estimate is that it would take like 2 hours, about maybe 3 hours. But yeah, depending just on how often you go. So my plan right now is basically to go every month or so, like every 4 weeks, 5 weeks. That way it can take less time because there'll be less growth. And then I just go sit down for 2 hours, they do their thing, and I'm done. And all you have to do to maintain it is just shampoo it once in a while, depending on how much buildup you get in your scalp, usually. And you just pat it dry. We spray it with a little bit of oil, some water, and that's it. You're good to go. You don't need to deep condition. You don't need to put leave-in conditioner. You don't need to do fancy braid outs. You don't need to do twist outs. No more freaking 2-strand twists. Like, I'm done with all of that. And guys, I am so relieved. Like, it's a huge burden off my shoulders, and I'm so glad to finally be in this place where I literally just go to sleep, wake up, and this is it. I just wake up literally looking like this, and I love it. So highly recommend Sisterlocks. I think one of the big reasons that people don't get Sisterlocks or other microlocks is because of the price. Sisterlocks cost a lot of money. Mine costs about $700, but I was also quoted $1,400 from someone else. So it's quite a range. Microlocks, I think, tend to be cheaper. Maybe it'll be close to like $400 or $500. But depending on who you go to, like I said, like the pattern might be a little bit different. With Sisterlocks, as you can see, it's like really tiny, first of all, and then also it's kind of coily, and they leave the ends loose. And I really like that because I feel like it more closely simulates, you know, like if you just had your hair kind of loose, but then the beginning is locked. And I really like that. And I don't think microlocks necessarily do that. And also I think microlocks tend to be a little bit denser or thicker. I'm not sure, but I've noticed that people that are sisterlocked have just like finer strands, so it doesn't look so thick or heavy. It looks a little bit lighter, which I also like that. But yeah, it's a big investment. $700 is not nothing, but I think it's totally worth it. I would rather not get any new shoes or clothes or whatever it is that would add up to $700 and get this, because you do it one time and then you can literally be good for the rest of your life. So yeah, that's my spiel on Sisterlocks and on the new hair. The other thing that's been happening or not happening is I haven't really posted any new videos or blog content for, I think it's been maybe a month and a half now. And that's because there's been just so much happening in every sense. Like, work has been super busy. There are a lot of things that my team is trying to develop and ship out, and that's been taking up a ton of energy because we have so much to do and not enough people to do it. And then on top of that, having moved to LA and moved past the beginning, like, exciting romantic phase, I started getting, you know, into my routines, having doctor's appointments, having tennis lessons I signed up for, and all these things I wanted to do, trying to meet new people and all that kind of stuff, still trying to explore the city. So all that stuff takes energy, blocks up the calendar. What else? Trying to stay in touch with family. I have family members that just had new babies. Lots of people are popping out lots of babies these days, so trying to get in touch with them. What else? Just like so many things happening. And then of course, just so many things. I'll just leave it at that. And so all of that, plus just like being tired, it being the pandemic, it's starting to get into winter, has made it really tricky to stay motivated to make these videos and also even keep blogging. And for the longest time, I had been talking about starting a podcast, and I didn't start that yet, but look out for that. I definitely want to get on that. I'm not going to say anything more about it because I want it to be a surprise, but definitely will have a podcast coming out sometime soon. So all that's to say, I think I'm back on track. And so hopefully over the next couple of weeks, you guys should be seeing a lot more content, and just like a lot more topics, whatever. So if there's anything specific that you guys want to hear about or want me to write about, or want to do a podcast about, definitely put that below in the comments, and I'll make sure that I make a video or, write an article about it. So I think I'll wrap this up here for now. Thank you for everyone that's subscribed. Anyone that's new, please subscribe, and check out hushhushmagazine.com. We revamped, so it's a really cool design now. And I will see you guys next time.